How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, thank you for stopping by. My name is Dylan, and today we're going to be talking about the deck that is like my creme de la creme in terms of power level. The deck that I only get to play once a night, and even only if certain people play certain decks. And that is going to be Jhoira, Weatherlight Captain. Jhoira is a Storm Commander and very not fun to play against. Yeah. Needless to say, I've taken maybe 20-30 minute turns with her before, and yeah, that's always fun. Anyway, with all that said, let's get into it. So given the type of deck this is, let's go ahead and start with the interaction that we have. First off, we got Tormod's Crypt, Cursed Totem, and Pithing Needle. While these might not seem like good pieces of interaction, Tormod's Crypt, they're graveyard strategies, and so it's a great way to kind of slow down those players. Cursed Totem and Pithing Needle, they're both cantrip for Jhoira, but at the same time, if you have like an Urza player next to you, like, congratulations. And also, if said Urza player throws an Ulamog in every one of their decks to prevent mill, also good job. So yeah, that's just the kind of artifacts we have that are what we get going for the deck. And now let's see if I can put all the removal together real quick. I think that's it. Yes, those are all the removal. So, there are actually some counter spells in here too. First off, we've got the blue ones: Pongify, Rapid Hybridization, and Reality Shift. I want to put a Mystic Reflection in here. I just can't think of what to take out of the deck. It's quite a bother figuring that out. But Mystic Reflection, if you don't know, it's the card from Kaldheim. Next time a creature would enter the battlefield, it enters as this non-legendary creature instead, and that would be a good one. That's a good one to have. Keep your opponent's commanders in check. Up next, we got Pyroblast and Elemental Blast. You can destroy any permanent that's blue, or you can even counter blue spells, so that's always nice. Moving on, we have our counter spells. Mana Drain, Mental Misstep, Forces. Muddle the Mixture is a good tutor for, Muddle the Mixture is either a good counterspell or a good tutor for Dramatic Scepter. Well, any of those parts, Flusterstorm, Pact. This is actually a really good counterspell given the Storm ability, and especially in this deck due to the fact that we can get the Storm count insanely high. Fierce Guardianship is a good one. Swan Song and Deflecting Swat. Deflecting Swat can either change the targets for counterspell or just straight up change the targets for any spell or ability, and that's what I like. And then we got Gitaxian Probe. It's a little bit of interaction, a little bit not. You get free information, and that's what I like about it, as well as drawing a card. So yeah, that's all the deck is about, and drawing cards is tight, yo. Alright, now let's get into cards that actually help us pop the frick off. First up, we've got Urza, which who'd have thought that in a deck with a lot of artifacts, Urza is actually really good at making mana. And guess what? If you're top decking a bunch of lands, you can always reshuffle your library with that third ability. Up next, for good card draw, we got Teferi's Ageless Insight, Hercule's Recall, and Paradoxical Outcome. Draw an additional card except for draw 2 cards, return all artifacts to your hand, and return any number of artifacts to your hand, and return any number of non-land permanents to your hand, and then draw cards equal to the amount of stuff that you've returned this way. So you already got some reducers on the board for artifacts, and now you're drawing all of those artifacts that are reduced, and you're still going to get to play them again. Oh my goodness. It doesn't just have to be artifacts. I'll get into that later. Let's see. For reducers, we have Cloud Key, Helm of Awakening, and Ethereum Sculptor. I like the Ethereum Sculptor the most simply because if you're tutoring for an artifact, you can go and grab that, and it doesn't reduce your opponent's spells as well, unlike the Helm. So, yeah, probably the most efficient one in my opinion. Let's see. Let's go into things that create us mana outside of our rocks, which would be Dockside, Bergie, and Jessica's Will. I'd say my favorite out of these three would have to be maybe Jessica's Will, just because you can pop off with this if you have Underworld Breach. And getting to cast cards from exile is always nice. Dockside and Bergie, you know, we're a Storm Commander. We want stuff. We want red mana. We also want treasures because treasures are tight, yo. Oh my gosh, my friend says blank is tight, and I just can't seem to stop now. Let's see, mana rocks. I'm sure these aren't the only one, but let's get into them anyway. So we got Mana Crypt, the Moxen, Soul Ring, Lotus Petal, and Mana Vault. These are all the most notable ones I can think of because they usually appear the most in games. Mana Crypt, basically a staple. Chrome Mox. I don't think I actually ever imprint anything with the Moxen. It's usually just cantrip for Jhoira. Like, if I ever imprint something, it's usually because I am at a slower start than usual. Let's see. Amber and Opal are just... Amber and Opal, you know, you're going to run a lot of artifacts in the deck, and you have a lot of legendaries on the deck. On the field, I mean. And, yeah, those are the mana rocks for here, which help us pop off even further, especially when they're reduced, so you're netting mana. Now we got something like Valakut Awakening, which really helps reload your hand. Like, say you have a handful of lands, except for this, you play it, you put all your lands on the bottom, and then, like, you draw however many cards you put on the bottom of your library plus one. Add in Teferi's Ageless Insight, and it's a lot better. Oh yeah, I almost forgot about this little guy. The Artificer's Assistant. Whenever we cast an artifact or a historic spell, we scry. Really helps us manipulate the top of our deck. Moving on, let's just get into some protection for Jhoira. First off, we have Cavern of Souls, which prevents her from being countered so long as we name humans. Same can be said for Urza, which, imagine an uncounterable Urza, am I right? Frightening. Lightning Greaves and Swiftfoot Boots. Really good cantrip, really good ways to keep Jhoira protected from those spells your opponents cast. And lastly, we got Asire. Really good in Jhoira. Really underrated in my opinion, especially in Jhoira. She basically gives her ward 3, and on top of that, you get a draw card from it. So, like, yeah, I would honestly say that... I'd say that Asire is... I don't want to say it is a staple, but it's a pretty good include. Very easily overlooked, too. Alright, so we've gotten into how the deck works. So now let's just go ahead and take a look at how it wins. I'll try and start off with the most complicated first. Words of Wind creates a board lock. Not even a board lock, really. It just sets everyone back to turn 1, with the exception of yourself, that is. How it works is you have mana rock on the board. You need one in your hand. You tap. You pay into Words of Wind. So the next time you draw a card, you would draw a card. Everyone returns a mana rock, well, a permanent to their hand. You choose the mana rock with the one floating you have. You play the mana rock. You play another one. You play the Soul Ring. Tap that. Pay into Words of Wind. Cast the Crypt. You have essentially infinite colorless mana at this point. Do it on a loop. Everyone returns basically their lands to their hand. One thing that this also accomplishes is a really high storm count. So Aetherflux Reservoir is a good finisher there. On the topic of really high storm counts, let's just get into these already. We got Dramatic Scepter, which I don't think needs any explanation, as well as Sensei's Top and Mystic Forge. For those who don't know how it works, basically with any sort of reducer, you can draw your deck. Sensei's Top, you draw a card and put it on top of your library. So tap, draw. Mystic Forge, you can cast cards from the top of your library if they're artifacts. Sensei's Top is an artifact. You cast it. You have net 1 card, and then you do this on a loop until you draw your deck and play Thassa's or get the storm count high enough and finish everyone off with a Netherflux Reservoir. Lastly, well, those are the most notable ones. Lastly, we have LED, Underworld Breach, and Brain Freeze. Turn 1 here, actually. So what happens is, so you need 8 cards in hand for this to work. You play a land, play Lotus Petal, crack the Petal, play Underworld Breach, play LED, sacrifice the LED for 3 blue mana. That should, let's see, we should have 5 cards in our graveyard because of that. Using the 3 blue mana and exiling the other 3 cards from our graveyard, we cast Brain Freeze, mill ourselves with a storm count of 3, so we mill ourselves for 9, and we then proceed to escape these cards from our graveyard and mill ourselves, play Thassa's. Yeah. If you want to be extra cautious, what you can also do is make your opponents draw from an empty library. I'm not sure if you have enough cards in your library to do so, but you can definitely take out 1 player with this. But yeah, those are basically how it wins. And I guess you can include Reckless Fireweaver, just draining our opponents, every time an artifact ETBs, 1 damage to each opponent. That's always a good way to win,
All right, that's all I have for you today. Thank you for stopping by, but as always, we have got to end these up with a funny story, because looking over the deck, you might think to yourself, that is absolutely brutal. To which I would say, I agree. To which I would follow that up with, we got to remember, these are casual games, but with mean cards. So, how we ended off is when we tell a funny story. So, my friend pilots has a Mogus deck, right? And he built it specifically with the intent of shutting down card draw, right? I build Jhoira. All I know about her is I draw a lot of cards and I storm off with her, right? She is a good card draw deck. I tell him, hey, you got your new deck. I want to play my new deck. I want to show you what my new deck can do, right? Because again, anti-card draw. Us two, and then a few others join us. And by around turn 4, my board stated. This was back in the good old days, though, when the average mana curve was 3 point something as opposed to 2 point... No. This was the good old days when the mana curve was 2.8 as opposed to 2.1. So, yeah, that was fun. At some point on turn 4, the people decided, yeah, we're going to call it good. You're playing Solitaire. I'm sure you have an Aetherflux in your hand or in your library somewhere. You appear to be drawing that much. We're just going to call it game. And that will always hold dear to my heart, because Mogus couldn't do Mogus things. Anyway, y'all take care.